Let us now discuss about constructor overloading. Overloading in simple words is nothing but a method with the same name but different parameters. Parameters are nothing but the values that we are giving to a method. So assume this public constructor, this is the constructor tester. This is an unparameterized constructor, which means it has no parameters. There are no values in the brackets for simple words. So constructor overloading is having multiple constructors with different parameters. Let's say, let's take another constructor, again, tester, and let's take it with a string name and only name. We are giving only parameter as its name. Let's open this and let's say this dot name is equals to name semicolon. Now let's output the name is plus name. So this is constructor overloading. In simple words, a constructor overloading is nothing but the same method with different parameters. We are using the same name for the method, that is tester and tester. So obviously the name is same. This is the same as the class name, which is that is what makes it a constructor. And we see that the only difference between these two is the skeleton of that method, which is the value that we are giving in the brackets. This is a parameter. A parameter is the input value that we give for a method. So we see that we are giving only name for this. So if we go to our application program and if we try to create an object of tester, let's check it out. Tester tr is equals to new tester. If we see here for the constructor, we are giving no parameters. If we run the program, let's clear it out, clear the terminal out. And if we run the program, oh sorry, we are not, let's output something in the tester program. Let's output obviously the name is plus name, and then let's say, and your age is, let's again say age. So if we output this and let's run the program now, we see that the name is John and your age is 23. This is from the values that we are mentioning in this constructor. This constructor has no parameters. So we already know that there is a constructor with no parameters called tester. Now let's create a new object called tester tr2 equals to new tester with the string name. So if we assume the name here, let's check what the output gives for this. Let's run this program. We see that the name is James. We see that we are calling the same constructor tester, but the only difference is the parameter that we are mentioning in this program. So if we check this now, let's say the tester constructor itself, we have outputted the name is plus name. So we are printing the name that we are giving as its input. We're also making sure that the global name has been changed to the name of the within the constructor, which is we are using this keyword to change the reference of the name to the name that we are giving as the input of the tester function. And let's say, let's create another constructor called tester with the inputs string name, comma, int age. These are the two values that we already have. So let's do the this dot age is equals to age, obviously, and this dot name is equals to name. And let's output, let's just copy the same thing and let's do it here. We can see we have created another constructor with the same name. So we can see that the method name is same for three of the methods, that is tester, tester, and tester. Here there are no parameters, so this becomes a default constructor. This has a single parameter, so it becomes a single parameterized constructor. This has two, obviously, so it is a two parameterized constructor. The common thing is that the name is same. So that is what constructor overloading is. So if I create a new object, yeah, 3 is equals to new tester, the name and the age. Let's say John, and let's check the age as 26 or 7. Now, again, if you run this program, we'll see His name is the first constructor shows the name is John and your age is 23. The second constructor only shows the name, which is this. And the third constructor shows the name is John and your age is 27. Here we see the concept of constructor overloading in a very easy example. And we should also remember that from within a constructor, we can only call a single constructor. So if I call, we can call by using this parenthesis operator, and let's call this constructor which takes only string name as its input or its parameter. Let's give the name as, let's say, a. Now, to call a constructor from within a constructor, we should use the this brackets operator, which is, so obviously this is what we use to call a constructor from within a constructor. And also remember that from within a constructor, we can only call one constructor. So we are calling the constructor, the tester with the string name as its parameter. So if you run the program again, we see that we print this name, the name is Gail first. That is because we are printing this value with the name Gail. So that becomes this tester itself. And remember in constructors, again, as I mentioned, this is very important. It is that we can only call one constructor from within a constructor. And also remember that lines like the keyword this or even super should be the first line of a constructor. Meaning, the first line means that the line first, whichever the first line that you write of a constructor should be this. Meaning, this cannot be used after a value has already been defined. So if we check this now, let's do indentation. We'll check the error right now. We'll see that the constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor, which means that the this or even the super keyword should be used as the first line of a constructor. This is very important. So let's remove this. And if you want to check the program again, let's try to run the program again. Let's clear it all out and then let's run the program. We see that the name is Gail gets printed first because that is the first line of the constructor, the unparameterized constructor, and the parameterized constructor takes name. This constructor is what we're trying to call here. So this is the concept of constructor overloading in Java. See you in the next one.